The entire restaurant went silent the moment the woman's voice echoed across the room. "I said I don't want him serving me," she snapped, pointing at Jordan, the only black waiter on the shift that evening. Her tone dripped with arrogance and entitlement. The silver bracelets on her wrist jingled as she folded her arms, looking disgusted. Everyone froze. The young couple at the next table stopped mid-bite. The air felt heavy, like time itself had paused. Jordan stood still, holding a tray of water glasses that trembled slightly in his hands. He had heard all sorts of rude remarks in his 2 years working at Maple Grove Bistro, one of Toronto's top-rated restaurants. But this hit different. "Ma'am," Jordan said softly, trying to keep his voice calm. "Is there a problem with your table?" The woman, dressed in an expensive beige coat that screamed old money, scoffed. "The problem," she said coldly, "is that I didn't come here to be served by someone who clearly doesn't belong here. Get me someone else. Preferably someone who fits the image of this establishment." Gasps rippled through the restaurant. Even the soft jazz music playing overhead seemed to fade. Jordan's jaw tightened. He forced a polite smile, something he'd mastered through countless shifts. "Of course, ma'am," he replied, setting down the tray. "I'll get my manager." But inside, he was breaking. He needed this job. His younger sister's tuition depended on it. Rent was due in 4 days. He couldn't afford to lose another paycheck because of someone's ignorance. The manager, Lisa, hurried over, her expression tight, but calm. "Is everything okay here?" she asked. The woman gestured toward Jordan. "This boy is not my server. I asked for a professional, not..." "Not what?" Lisa interrupted sharply, her eyes narrowing. For a moment, the woman hesitated. The entire restaurant was watching now, phones subtly lifted, recording. One bold teenager near the window whispered, "Yo, she's about to get cancelled." Lisa took a deep breath. "Jordan is one of our best employees," she said clearly. "If you can't accept being served by him, then perhaps this isn't the restaurant for you." The woman's face turned red. "Are you threatening me?" "No," Lisa said firmly. "Just setting a standard. We don't serve disrespect here." For a split second, the woman looked speechless. But her pride wouldn't let her back down. "You'll regret this," she hissed. "Do you even know who I am?" Jordan felt his pulse race. Something about her tone sent chills down his spine. That's when the front door swung open. A tall man in a navy blue suit entered, confident, commanding, with an aura that silenced the whispers. The moment the woman saw him, her entire attitude changed. Her face went pale. "Oh no," she muttered under her breath. Lisa glanced at Jordan, confused. "Who's that?" she whispered. Jordan didn't know. But whatever was about to happen next, felt like justice walking in. The tall man's polished shoes clicked sharply against the floor as he strode toward the commotion. Every eye in Maple Grove Bistro followed him. His presence demanded attention, confident, calm, but with that quiet kind of authority that made people instinctively straighten their backs. The woman's voice cracked first. Michael," she stammered. Jordan's eyebrows furrowed. "She knows him?" The man's piercing blue eyes locked onto her. "Hello, Claire," he said evenly. "Didn't expect to find you here, embarrassing yourself." The color drained from her face. I was just." "You were just what?" he interrupted, his tone measured but sharp. "Publicly humiliating an employee because of the color of his skin?" A quiet gasp swept through the restaurant. Even Lisa took a step back. Jordan blinked in confusion. "Sir, Michael turned to him, extending a hand. "You must be Jordan, right? My apologies for what just happened. It won't happen again." Jordan hesitated, shaking his hand carefully. "Thank you, sir, but who exactly? Lisa suddenly realized. Wait, you're Mr. Chambers. The name sent a murmur across the restaurant. Michael Chambers, CEO of Northern Dine Group, the company that owned Maple Grove Bistro and 15 other luxury restaurants across Canada. Jordan's heart skipped a beat. He wasn't just anyone. He was the boss's boss. Michael turned back to Claire, his voice firm and deliberate. You know, I was on my way to a meeting with investors when I got a call from my assistant. Said a customer here was causing a scene. I thought it couldn't possibly be you. Guess I was wrong. Claire looked like she wanted to sink into the floor. Michael, please, I didn't mean. Enough, he said quietly, but the word carried weight. This man you just insulted? He's one of the hardest working employees in this company. He's earned respect, something money clearly hasn't taught you. The restaurant erupted in soft murmurs. Someone started recording again. Michael turned toward Lisa. Lisa, please comp this table's meal, everyone except Ms. Claire here. And then, kindly escort her out. Lisa blinked, surprised. Right away, sir. Claire's jaw dropped. You can't do that. I'm a shareholder. Michael smirked. Were. The silence that followed was heavy. Effective immediately, your access to our private dining club is revoked. And the company will be reviewing your behavior with the board, he continued. We represent inclusivity, not arrogance. The entire restaurant burst into quiet applause. A few people even stood up, cheering under their breath. Claire's face burned crimson. She turned to Jordan, her lips trembling. I'm sorry, she whispered, but it came out barely audible. Jordan just nodded politely. Enjoy your evening, ma'am. With that, she grabbed her purse and stormed out, humiliated, defeated, and silent. Michael turned back to Jordan. If you ever want to move up in this company, call my office, he said with a faint smile. People like you are exactly what Canada needs more of, strong, patient, and kind, even when the world tests you. For the first time that evening, Jordan smiled, not the forced kind, but one of quiet victory. Lisa exhaled deeply. That was incredible. Michael chuckled softly. No, Lisa. That was justice walking in. The crowd clapped louder now. Jordan could barely hold back his tears, not of pain, but of relief. And somewhere in that moment, a lesson echoed across the restaurant. Racism might show up uninvited, but so will justice. Speech balloon. What would you have done if you were in Jordan's shoes? Drop your city and your answer in the comments. Fire if you believe in standing up for what's right, hit the like button, subscribe to Stories Mike, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next powerful story about karma, kindness, and poetic justice.